Hey, good morning, Instagram. Happy Monday. We, as in we, are definitely waking up this morning. I'm loving this filter. And we are celebrating our 2-week postpartum just yesterday. We were not feeling well this past weekend. I should say I was not feeling well. He is doing just great. In fact, he is up 1.5 pounds since birth, which is pretty awesome and a very good gain. Let's see if we can see what he's doing. He's getting ready for nap time. So he's all bundled up and swaddled in his cute little blanket. And that is how he has been taking naps. He's very much on a tiny little schedule already. He likes to be wrapped and then put down. Best advice to new parents having your first baby. You may not heed my advice, but it would be put your baby down. I'm not saying let your baby cry. He does not cry. But I put him down when he's sleeping, and he sleeps right here. And he is safe, and he is happy. And my shoulders and arms are less likely to break off in the course of the day. And over the long term, it's a baby that you can allow to sleep and rest peacefully without needing to hold them. So that is my best parenting advice of the moment for people with new babies that may not have that experience. Put your baby down. They learn to just love it, honestly. And if he needs something, of course, I'm right here and I'll pick him right up. So anyway, good morning. Quick public service announcement. If you are in my area in Sedona, or if you're in some states like Colorado, or other places that have a natural grocers chain, a quick shout out to not support their store. They have decided to decline our freedom of breathing fresh air here in Sedona after many months of being one of the only places that supported our good health. So if you're in an area that has a vitamin cottage or a natural grocers, I would advise you to not support them and put your money into more local businesses. So here in Sedona, a more positive shout out to the water store, to local juicery, to Interdependence Market. These are all places that we actively support because they support our good health. So on that note, moving on to a 2-week update, we had a breast infection this past weekend. And I say we, I mean, he was fine. He is fine. He maybe didn't notice. But I had kind of a rough weekend, so I postponed my 2-week update, which was technically yesterday, to today for that reason. And if you've never had a breast infection, God bless you. You don't want one. I wouldn't wish one on my worst enemy. They're terrible. They make you feel incredibly sick. And they're sort of slow-ish to pass through, so at least 24 hours. But the good news is I'm better, I'm on the mend, I'm still going to need to rest more today and probably longer than I sort of want to, but natural remedies win. And I've never had to do antibiotics for a breast infection. Unfortunately, I'm sort of prone to them. And it could be because I get impatient and I want to do more than I can. That's one reason. And some people just sort of are more likely to experience that. And I thought I would be sort of quicker to catch it because once you've had one, that's the good news. You're quicker to catch it. But I sort of wasn't. And I ended up with a fever this past weekend for a good while. But natural stuff has kicked it. I had a friend bring over some poke root tincture, which you only need a couple drops of. That stuff is amazing. And just lots of vitamin C and other kind of herbal remedies, essential oils on the bottoms of my feet, and mostly just rest. Rest. And nurse. He nursed for 7 hours straight on Saturday, and that's not been typical for him, so I'd love to think that he did kind of know, and he wanted to help me clear that out. And so we did. You know, it's really humbling the way the body communicates. And in light of this really cool filter and sort of the bigger view of things, I think it was necessary for me, especially after my birth experience. I've been experiencing lots of cool emotional and spiritual, changes and sort of upgrades. And I think a fever is really awesome in a lot of ways and actually really symbolic of burning things away. So although I was very uncomfortable and sort of miserable for that 24 hours, I do think there was some significant burning of the old self. We always get launched into our new selves after birth. And this time has been especially significant and, really, really potent, I guess the word would be, because it's not been something I've just thought about or maybe felt like was maybe happening or sort of hidden. It's been right there. And his birth, if you read his story, is probably also part of that whole thing. The old self is gone. So we experienced that burning this weekend, and, I don't know what's left now. Now is the time to continue to rest and kind of regroup, and the alone time that I'm being granted is so wonderful and so appreciated. So appreciate my husband and my friends and my kids, my parents. They've all been incredibly supportive of me, literally sitting over here doing nothing. But, it's not doing nothing. I'm taking care of this guy 24/7. And yeah, it's not just a physical recuperation, although that was definitely a thing this past weekend. It's been an emotional and spiritual recuperation and a gathering of resources to go forward. And I know that all sounds kind of like ambiguous, but I think that's the truth. And when you're in this spot of 2 weeks postpartum, you can't really say what exactly is next or how it'll look for you or really anything at all, which is kind of exciting. I think there's a lot of grief that comes with a postpartum time, sort of in general. At least there has been for me almost every time. And I think that's a very predictable grief in a way. One is to simply just not be pregnant anymore, to be in a completely different space, and to just be kind of mourning all of those feelings. Even when pregnancy gets hard at the end, I love it. And there definitely is something bittersweet about having a baby on the outside, although I am so grateful, of course, that he is here, that he is healthy, that our birth was really stupendous and life-changing. In some moments, it just feels almost like too big to process. So that's what I'm doing over here. I'm processing it. Obviously, my body is actually processing it, hence the breast infection. There are no accidents. So the body is responding, and we are just responding in turn and making the best of it and taking in the lessons we need to take in. And I am anxiously awaiting receiving more wisdom from all those places about our experience as I continue to process it. I have lots to say, of course. I'm sure there will be podcasts and more writings that come out of it. It really was absolutely magical. And the farther I get from it, 2 weeks isn't far, but if you've had a baby, sort of how rapidly the feelings change, right? You can go from being able to remember birth really accurately in your body to 2 weeks later, kind of forgetting, right? That's the blessing and the curse of it all, is this ability to forget. Our bodies do forget. But his birth was so magical that it's almost like I can't comprehend it happened the way it did, So if you haven't read his birth story, it's indiebirth.org/Rumi Soul. It's an incredible story, and it really was like we were transported to another dimension to birth, and then we came back to our dimension. It was absolutely crazy. And yeah, the farther I get, sort of the less sense it makes. So, so that's what we're up to. Let's see if Little guy is wanting to be on camera. Nope, not really. He's ready for his nap. He's ready for me to put him down. See, it all works so perfectly. He's on a total little schedule. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your well wishes. We are feeling better, and hopefully I'll be wise enough to avoid any more of the breast issues by resting and taking even better care of myself and being more attuned to, feeling it before it gets really bad. So that is that. And perhaps I'll do a podcast sometime soon on the whole thing and just different remedies and theories and that kind of thing, because it's not uncommon. Certainly many women don't have to deal with it, but many do. And, no need to run for antibiotics, at least not initially. It's not something I've ever had to do, but they are not fun. Not fun at all. So thanks for watching. We hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. Tomorrow, which is Tuesday at 1:30 my time, which is 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, I will be joining Patty from Uma Mother here on Instagram on her profile for a live together. So Patty is really awesome. She's a doula in California. We had the pleasure of meeting over the summer at a mutual friend's birth here in Flagstaff, and that was really beautiful. And yeah, we've kept in touch, and I feel so honored to know people like Patty, around the world who are doing such great work. So profile tomorrow, if you'd like. And I don't know what we're going to talk about. I think she will just, be a great host. And I think she's fielding some questions. Yeah, it's poke root tincture for mastitis. But literally, make sure you look it up and read some stuff, obviously, because it can be toxic in larger amounts, literally 2 drops. 2 drops, not dropper fulls, 2 drops in water. I did that in the morning yesterday and then at night last night, and I woke up feeling a ton better. So bless my friend Christina who brought that over here. You think I would have it, but I didn't, and it's probably the kind of thing that's really hard to get locally. So yay for